they might have needed. At the same time, though, I think that you have a good matchup up against the Athena. You don't have any threat. She doesn't have any threat on you with that taunt. You don't have to worry about it.
Awesome. Jake looking for an engage. He's reached level 5 first here. Defender of Olympus down. And Lasbra joins the fray here on the left side of the map. Genetics doing his best to sidestep. Looks like first blood, and Lasbra's got it, but Captain Twig now leaps on in, looking for the return kill. Won't get it yet, but the up-down from Netrioid will. But look out, Aggro. Venenu rotates from mid.
And he's got the Taiko drums. Netrioid nowhere to go. Ven bangs on the drums and sends him down. 2 for 1. Tings is here, but I think he's too little, too late. And that's just a great identification of their power spike for the bolts. I mean, Genetics level a whole lot for it, though. Uses his blink, and Haddix was already out of danger at that point. But still, I like the aggressiveness of the King show, and that's something that you can really see from them a lot of times in the way that they like to play the map. They like to be active.
Haddix looking to be active underneath the tower, but instead Captain Twig is here looking for the CC, and they both got a great chain all, but Haddix dashes away.
No way.
Out of the root, and it looks like Haddix will survive unless Genetics looks for a miracle play here, and without the blink, it's not going to happen. The Cullen will walk away from the...
This, with which the bolts have been willing to send Barracuda all the way to the right side of the map early on, I think plays a factor in them letting Haddix go. It looks crazy. How do they ever let him live in that spot? But it's because of these globals that the bolts have.
That's a good double pull there from Jake. Can Venenu get the rest done? Of course he can. Taiko drums so powerful. Oh, but a big blast of damage from Big Man Tings, and then the follow-up there for the double. But Barracuda, he's ulted on in as this Chernobog Variety wants to chase him down. Venenu lands the Raiju for the slow. Captain Twig blinks forward, finds the root, and Barracuda with maybe a half level ahead of Venenu in the levels department. And that's an important answer back, because as a fight broke out on the right-hand side, I was talking about the streak that Venenu's been on here recently. It looks like the mid laner for the Bolts just can do no wrong since an early season loss happened. But apparently we're not going to get to talk here today. Barracuda in and out of the wall, but it's not where he wants to be. And Netrioid picks up the 2v1 kill over on the left side of the map.
Perfect. You got Bear's beads in mid. Feels bad we didn't kill him there, but we... Now don't forget that Cerberus has that prot shred on the Ghastly Breath, which is very important for compositions like this. But I think that we're going to see a decent amount of magic defense coming out, and also a Heartward Amulet for Genetics.
Does feel that way. A small 1v1 becomes a little bit more here. Barracuda will have to ult, but he won't get the chance. Big Man Tings through space and time finds the unstable vortex damage at the end as well. And now it's a killing spree out of the mid lane for the Camelot Kings. You're feeling good if this Giannis is starting to play this well early on.
Like worse than something like Rod up to Hootie in that slot. Certainly you're going to feel worse than building Rod outright, but it's hard to fit that 20% pen item later in the build. A lot of times you feel like you're getting a little bit too late. This makes sure that you have it.
Whoa, look at the rotation from Genetics behind Venenu, who did not have a chance to play as Captain Twig would use the ultimate to delete the mid laner. Now awesome Jake. He'll get rooted, he'll get portaled. Goodbye, Cerberus. Big Man Tings with his 4th of the game, and the Camelot Kings just playing the collapse a little bit better there. Bolts had one ward on the back side of the rotation in there.
It's because Netrioid was there on the rotation.
Wow, look at this. Venenu uses the Taiko drums way early to burn down some more damage, but the Bolts will get the Pyromancer nonetheless. Variety rotates over, uses his ultimate to engage in on this fight, and it's the knockback from Haddix. And the Defender of the Olympus in from Lasbra. Jake tickled down just a bit by that through space and time, but Barracuda's ulted in here as well, and now Barracuda's left alone. He'll have to use the beads in and out of the wall he goes to survive the rest of this fight. Kings poking and prodding for more, but the Bolts will get the Bray to make it a 2v1 with Captain Twig on the backside of the fight, but the portal right on through. Jake does not get the stun onto Twig, but Twig has to leave the fight. Variety is rotated in. He's full HP, and that means he wants to engage on Barracuda. 5 seconds left on the Barracuda beads, but the Aegis is there, and it's ready, and Barracuda will have to go into the wall, but he will not come out, and he will not survive. Netrioid finds the first in the fight. Netrioid finds the second in the fight. Variety with the 3rd, and the Kings all but sweep the Bolts.
Love that play from Genetics. He throws up the wall, and Barra can go hide in the wall and then get a second dash, but it get away. And then we're going to use the Cerberus ultimate, but the paralyzing spit was just a little bit off. That ultimate for Big Man Tings was perfect for disengaging, and then Variety was right there to re-engage the fight perfectly.
Fire Giant started here, aggro for the Camelot Kings. Venenu does not have Taiko drums, and I don't even think he has a chance to live against Variety. It's 10 HP on the big objective. A good wall from Genetics keeps Jake and Haddix at bay, and the Camelot Kings will secure the first FG of this game. 18 and a half minutes in, by the way. It's a sub.
With this Athena.
Right.
You can use it to peel, sure, but it's not going to be nearly as effective. You want to create pick scenarios and dash forward, taunt the one tank, kill them, reset, 5v4 it. That's the whole game plan for this pick.
Lasbra will not get a chance to ult away. Talk about burst damage from Big Man Tings and Variety. And now the Olympus Bolts without their jungler for the next 40 seconds. Barracuda's going to split push down the right-hand side, but he'll have two. Tings looks to maybe call him on it. Through space and time, charged up. Oh, it hits Barracuda! Into the wall he goes to dodge the unstable vortex, and then beads used on the portal. Big Man Tings backs away to keep himself out of the route, but Barracuda's used his Aegis here as well. Haddix, Lasbra, both rotating into this fight as well. Barracuda looking to go back to base. Lasbra is in behind Big Man Tings. This is going to be a kill for the Bolts, but on the FG are the Camelot Kings, and the Fire Giant will go over to the Kings, but it will not be on BMT.
Yeah, I think this makes sense, though, for the Bolts. I mean, the chances of you being able to get in there and these Phoenixes all by himself. I like it.
And now that Runic shield, right, aggro, that was so good early in the game, still feeling good now. He can solo out Jake, Venenu, maybe even Lasbra with a little bit of that extra defense. Haddix makes his way into the backline, finds the knockup and the transformation. That's going to force Netrioid to leap away, but Big Man Tings has deleted Barracuda to start off this fight. Variety working into the base of the Bolts here, but he hasn't been killed off just yet. The Taiko drum's not enough to get it done, and Variety will dash away. The Olympus Bolts locked out of their fountain thanks to the wall from Genetics. This is the defender of Olympus to keep the Bolts in the fight for the time being. And the Kings continue to whittle away the chances of the Bolts here in Game 1.
It's just this composition has not worked out at all. I mean, Lasbra has Blink Taunt that whole time, but he's standing by Venenu because he knows he needs to just peel for him, because if Twig gets on top of him, he gets eviscerated. Kind of like that. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about when we're talking about evisceration. Look at this. The Kings say, who cares about a Primal Fury? We'll take the Titan.
It's a Sunder over onto Venenu to all but confirm this game here for the Camelot Kings. Variety is in the backline. Barracuda will ult on in here as well. There's got to be a miracle at play for the Bolts, and that miracle is not answered. Unfortunately, a massive ult from Jake will only be answered by death. The Camelot Kings will get this one done in sub 30 minutes.
Man, they made it look easy too, didn't they, Dave?
Didn't
I mean, they really did not break a sweat in this game, and it is crazy to think that they still have players playing from European ping that they really aren't at full strength quite yet, because boy, do they look good enough to compete at this level right now. Impressive.
In a couple of games. Look, there was a massive four-man Stygian Torment at the end of Game 1, but he was alone, so nothing really impacted there towards the end of it. But looking to impact the early game here, he's going to jump on over the wall, but finds himself between four members of the Camelot Kings. Peel is there from Lasbra, and Barracuda joins the fight. First blood on over to the Bolts, and the rotation this time is good.
The one thing that Genetics really struggled with in Game 1 and seems to be in the same position here in Game 2 is using that laid off that ultimate in comparison to where he was last game, which was behind off of that ultimate. It's not a massive deal right now, 15 stacks on his Devos and about a half a level lead, but you compare that to the massive deficit he had before, it's a big deal.
Uh-oh, Genetics may be caught out here in the mid yet again. A wall will keep him alive. Another Fear No Evil. Flicker forward from Ven. The auto attack is not there, and then the blink away, and Genetics will survive. Variety up and over the wall as well. Haddix around the backside. But
so that blink freeze makes a big difference. So how are the Kings going to be able to punish him like they did last time around? Variety is just becoming a real nuisance on this right-hand side, though, isn't he? We just saw him steal away that blue as they take Jacob.
Here's the first big engage from Captain Twig, and the damage is confirmed in the wall from Genetics. Just enough displacement, and the Camelot Kings find themselves on the board. That's what we've been waiting for, right? The Captain Twig into Big Man Tings, into Genetics. And that feels almost...
Just their play style. This benefits them a little bit more. The way that they... I think they just play around objectives a little bit better than the Bolts do right now. But no, I don't think in particular that the pace is that important for them.
Well, it's Jake ulted yet again, and it's Jake with beads yet again, and it's Jake leaping out and dying yet again. Camelot Kings run back the same play, but this time it's Genetics who grabs the second kill of the game for the Camelot Kings. 3 ultimates get used, and I think the Kings happy with that. Genetics walks a bit too far. Well, Twig doesn't hit the sash this time, but Barracuda hits the beads almost immediately. So both missed, but Barracuda definitely behind in this regard. The collapse is through now from the Olympus Bolts, but Barracuda not rejoining the fight with his ultimate. Instead, he's going to land back down. Captain Twig turns around, sashes in, but is it a fatal mistake? Not just yet. The ultimate away from the Naja keeps him alive, and Awesome Jake will get sent to the nether realm by Netrioid here. The third kill of the game just around the corner, and all three of them land on the support.
And Twig does his job perfectly. He got both sets of carry beads with that play. He blinks it back up. Kings are going to play with fire.
They're playing with fire. If Venenu is able to find the room to operate in these fights, the first big engagement, all 5 members of both teams here to play. Awesome Jake has lost half of his HP. Netrioid's got Deathbringer, by the way, and Awesome Jake learns it the hard way. Searing Pain doesn't confirm the kill, but Netrioid sure will. I Fear No Evil sends Big Man Tings to the left, but an Aegis will save the life of Ra. And now Barracuda up into the sky. That's the Wind and Fire Wheels trying to confirm the kill on the Olympus Bolts Hunter, and Variety will get it done onto the mid laner in the meantime. Haddock's able to pull back one, but the Camelot Kings just have too much damage, and it looks like a winning fight for the blue side.
Haddock's the only one left alive, and Variety just chopping him down. Double kill for the Osiris. And the Bolts had a better opportunity there, but the Kings just team fight better.
Needs Aegis down for Big Man Tings, Aegis down for Netrioid. Could be the advantage the Olympus Bolts need. Searing Pain closing the gap, but a little bit away from the confirm, and the Olympus Bolts pinging out the Raw, so they know that Big Man Tings is a bit away from this fight. Lasper already low, and look at the clinic that Variety is putting on in the wall from Genetics. Cuts off the escape path. Big Man Tings cleans up that kill, and the Camelot Kings find the important opener.
Barra hiding in the wall, waiting for an opening, but Netrioid tracks him down with a beautiful ultimate.
That's the big swing, and Barracuda will fall back down to earth, and Big Man Tings finds his second. Yet again, the Olympus Bolts running for the hills. Big Man Tings with an unofficial 3. Haddock's now being tier 2 tower dove, but Venenu and Haddock's will live to fight another day. And the Ra showed up big time here in this FG fight.
Plenty of sustain. I mean, look at the health bars for the vast majority of the Kings. Barely out of the green for most of them. And Tings, he's not even worried about securing the objective. That's no fun. I'd rather try and snipe someone over the wall. And it's
get it! Get it! No!
So close. And that's why you always upgrade your bluestone, everybody, because Variety would have gotten the kill if he had upgraded it.
That would have felt horrible for Venenu, and probably feels a little worse here for Haddock's on the back end of the FG getting confirmed. Haddock's left alone with his tier 2 tower. That's right, bluestone pendant, unfortunately, there for Variety. He will upgrade it, just a little bit too late with all that extra gold in his pocket, but it's that opening. But he hasn't found it just yet.
Twig tasked with tracking him down. Look at how deep Variety is. I mean, he's been there for a while now, and it just has not mattered. He has not taken any damage.
Yeah, Barracuda has, though. Half of the Chernobog's HP is gone. All of the HP of the Phoenix, as well as Awesome Jake, gone. 0-6 now on the Cerberus. Jake has just not found the value here for the Olympus Bolts. The Camelot Kings continue to play this composition perfectly. And they're going to work to
ult or a Naja ult. We'll just force him
out. Big Fear No Evil, but look at the beads that it's stripped away. Lasbro running, uses his own beads. Big Man Tings, no good on the Searing Pain. Mid lane Phoenix survives for the time being, and there's a stun on the backside of this fight that gets the Camelot Kings somewhat low. Mid lane Phoenix will dive, and Anu sends the damage through to the back line. Twig has found a solo kill onto Variety, or onto Lasbro, excuse me, on right. Genex throws up the wall, down into the ultimate. He goes as Haddock's continues to close this gap. The Camelot Kings, they've got the sustain to retake the fight. The double beam from BMT shuts down Ben, shuts down Barra, and the Camelot Kings surge in.
16-3, another dominant performance. The Camelot Kings, the way this team works as a unit, you'd think they've been playing together for the last 3 or 4 years, Dave. It hasn't even been 3 or 4 months for these guys.